Hello, faithful watchers of Doctor Who Target Files YouTube channel. I hope you finally enjoyed the new podcast episode we've released this month, me and Lee, discussing the first 5 episodes of Series 12. And this little review is of last night in the UK and around the world, Episode 6 of Season 12, Praxeus, written by Peter McTighe, and a writing credit on it as well, which I'll discuss a bit more in a moment, from Chris Chibnall. Directed by Jamie Stone, who's returned from the Spyfall opening two-parter, and we saw a lot of flourish with the direction, a lot of very interesting shots, some very fast-paced editing, some very good use of CGI. Birds are always a very difficult one to do with CGI, but I thought they blended in well. As we know, Doctor Who's a bit of a fantasy show, so they don't have to look exactly as they're swirling around like a proper flock of a proper flock of birds would in real life. One question I had at the end, which many fans had, was Adric. We saw the Get Out clause in this episode, and it got me wondering why the Fifth Doctor couldn't have rescued that famous Alzarian lad back in 1981 from the freighter, which was going to crash into Earth. But somebody then pointed out on social media that that freighter was also travelling through time, whereas the character played by Warren Brown over my shoulder here, his piloted spaceship was merely travelling through space, wasn't it? So maybe a little bit easier for the Doctor there. Still a bit harsh on Adric though. And how did this gentleman, Warren Brown, how was he able to pilot a ship so easily? Well, that's just the way it goes, isn't it? But he gave an excellent guest turn, quite a few guest actors, but as often happens in the Chibnall era, Chris has introduced quite a few in one episode, and we don't get a great deal of development in a lot of them. A nice little twist with the idea of same-sex marriage between Warren Brown and the other guest actor playing his husband astronaut. People might have assumed, old school, that they were just brothers or cousins or friends, but an excellent use of that scenario. And the message at the end, the climate change message, a little bit less forced, or considerably less forced than in Orphan 55. But all the same, a pretty solid effort this episode. I'd say maybe a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10. The highlights were the directing flourishes, the performances of Warren Brown in particular amongst the guest cast. A little bit more mystery to Yaz. Looks like something's going to be occurring next week. And as I said at the beginning of this short video review, I was going to discuss something. I apparently heard that Chris Chibnall Peter McTighe wanted to have Sea Devils in this episode, but apparently the rumour, just a rumour folks, is that Chris Chibnall overruled him, and that's how he ended up with the secondary writing credit. I presume the Sea Devils, if they had appeared, might have been responsible for the virus itself, but still an interesting turnout with another race coming to Earth and starting to spread it. And I did like the idea of, the floating plastic underneath the ocean playing its part. So a decently delivered message. So as I said, 6.5 out of 10, and I'll see you next week, folks, when I'll be en route to Gallifrey 1, and hope to record you a video. If I get to see the episode, I'll be staying in Ireland on Sunday night, on the first step of my journey to the States. So I shall let you know in due course if I'll be able to record that one, but please subscribe and like and leave your own comments below this video, what you thought of Praxeus, and thanks for watching. Bye now.